goes on, so it's like kind of the easy way to get around it. So.
With the album title Synchronized, do you think there is now a very strong sense of synchronicity within the band?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so much.
Definitely.
Yeah, we're all a lot happier. I think
more settled.
More settled, yeah, more
chilled. A lot more settled, yeah.
And also, I feel that, I feel that everything in life is synchronised. Everything has a link. Everything's got a universal harmony about it. The trees and the land and the sea and sky and what have you. And that also gets reflected in people. And I think if you follow your heart, which is your natural intuition, you can't go wrong. And I mean, people say to me, "Oh, why do you do so well?" It's like, well, apart from working hard, it's because I follow my heart and I do what I think is best to do for me. So therefore, I feel that I'm synchronised. I'm in tune with myself. And that's what being synchronised is: being in tune with what your heart wants. And because you go through life and you realise life is just a road, and it branches out into forks. And you have to pick the right fork in life. It's like if I didn't buy this house, I wouldn't have the studio, we wouldn't have an album here in July. As it was hard enough, so all these decisions is like whether we put the album out in July or September. A lot of people will say, put it out in September, don't hurry. And it's like, for me, it's like, well, no, I need to have the thing out then. I mean, what would we do for 5 months?
Yeah.
We wouldn't do anything.
Bored.
Band gets reduced, and it's bad. So it's a good title, and the other thing is, of course, that the whole thing's been done here. The album shots were taken here, the press shots were taken here. Everything to do with this album has been done here. So it's a real cottage home industry thing, and there's something very synchronised about that.
Never thought it was Jamiroquai being the cottage industry, though.
It's all done in-house.
Really,
it's always done in-house, so to speak, yeah.
Now, the lead singles Can Heat, album's first track, it's got a really big sound to it. It's fast, funky, and the string section, it gets you instantly. It's very, very catchy. So, what's the idea behind the song?
Party, first single.
Yeah, well, the idea behind the song was, after having the problems we've had this year, and having to start again, I think it gave me a new angle on what I was writing. And today I was, slightly annoyed would be an understatement. So obviously I think, things like Can Heat, when I get angry and I get into that kind of mood and I feel the world's against me, and I do feel that sometimes, and a lot of the album reflects that. Don't know why, but I just do, I feel like I want to get out and I want to express my energy. I express my anger and my energy through dance and through boogie, The more knackered and sweaty I can get, the more I feel like I've really worked it out, worked out my system, and often I will go and do that, as the lyrics suggest, nothing left for me to do but just boogie. And I liked it, though. It has a very disco flavour, but then again, a lot of the tracks on the third album, everybody's free, can't like this disco because everybody's doing disco. It's like, well, hold on a minute, we did have tracks like Cosmic Girl and All Right.
Yeah,
disco is not just one format. It's very, very, Derrick would say, there's a load of different beats and ways to do the drums and snares, and a way to place the percussion in order to make a different sound. We don't go all out to make disco tracks. But, I'm really happy with it as it is, and I think it's a great move forward for us because I prefer it to the lead single off the third album, which is Virtual Sanity. I much prefer it. It's much more my type of thing, much more my bag. And again, you've got 14 string players on that doing that section throughout the whole album, and they all came in this room here, and they all said what a wonderful sound it was in this room. And to get a string sound these days it's not easy. I've worked with a few string sections, and it's not easy to actually get them to be able to hear themselves, and there's so many of them, and yet hear the section as a collective. So it makes it easier to keep it tight. And a lot of string players tend to be very, you'll say, dun 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 dun, dun 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 dun, with the guys, and they'll go, dun 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 dun, dun 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 dun, and they'll do it all staccato. It's like, it's all quite like that.
That's one of the things, that I notice. The album does have a very crisp, fresh sound to it. Your voice, especially, I've noticed it's very slick, it's polished, and you can clearly hear every word that you say, which is really nice. No, it is.
Thank the Lord, because I didn't write the lyrics on the back of the album.
But you can. It's got a very crisp sound to it.